Make some noise for Ashley Lindsay.
What up, everybody? Happy December, gang, right? I don't know if you guys can tell, but I love Christmas, right? I am all about that holiday cheer. I do want to ask, though, how old were you guys when you first stopped believing in Santa?
8.
I know, you're like, huh? 7? Okay, sure. I feel like that's normal. I was 12. And it was not a discovery that I made on my own. I remember I was in 6th grade waking up for school. It was a morning that should have been like any other. And I just walked out to the kitchen and I was talking to my mom and I was like, yo, Mom, it's so weird. I put my tooth under my pillow last night and I woke up and it's still there and there's like no money. I hope everything's okay. And she just looked at me and she said, Ashley, it's because I was really tired last night. And I just went, okay, we were actually talking about me right now. That's really weird. Not everything's about you, Mom. And then she just took this big sigh and looked at me with a face that some people would call disappointment. And she just went, Ashley. And that's when it hit me. The theatrics. I'm crying. I'm screaming. For lack of a better word, I'm freaking the fuck out, okay? And finally, when I gather myself enough to speak, I'm like, wait, so like, what does this mean for Santa? And as traumatizing as this all sounds, I truly did live a charmed childhood, right? Because out of all the times my brain has gotten the better of me and I've been suffering tremendously, that was the only time my mom showed me no empathy. So I think she did a pretty good job, all things considered. It's really interesting, though, that it took me so long because I actually was a very observant child. Like, I remember, like, there were so many signs pointing to the fact that Santa wasn't real, but I just simply chose to ignore all of them. I remember there was one year I woke up on Christmas and I noticed that all the little goodies in my stocking had Target tags on them. And I just thought, okay, Santa's a busy guy, right? You know, he probably just forgot my present at his house, the North Pole, and had to make a quick impromptu Target run, you know? Who among us hasn't been there, right? Let's cut the guy some grace. It's also really interesting because I've always been a critical thinker, right? I've been skeptical about things. And there were things that I did feel this way about. Like, I remember another time being a kid on the playground, and these girls came up to me, and they were trying to explain to me what a period was. And I just remember being like, kids come up with the craziest shit. You know what I mean? No way that shit can be real. Bleeding out, come on, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, moving on. Another thing about me, fun fact, I was actually born and raised right here in Southern California. Pretty cool. I know, it is pretty cool. The only thing is that a lot of people don't believe me when I tell them that, which I guess kind of makes sense, you know? Like, despite being a California girl, I don't necessarily have sun-kissed skin so hot it'll melt your popsicle or anything like that. And I have been told on multiple occasions that I look like a personified version of the Midwest. Yeah, I walk into a room and immediately everybody's just like, okay, this bitch does not play about cheese curds, right? But as a native Southern Californian, driving and rain are not a combo I've ever been super comfortable with. I'm not a bad driver, like, don't get it twisted, but there have been incidents because I'm what? Human, right? I'm human. Folks, I may look like a perfect little angel, but I am in fact human. Confuses a lot of folks, I know. But there was one time I was driving around LA and it was raining, and I allegedly cut a guy off, which, sue me, right? Sue me. Happens to the best of us. But, and he got so mad at me, which is so crazy to me, so bonkers, because, like, how could you be mad at a face like this? Right? I'm too darn cute. I don't really get it. But I pissed this guy off so bad that he followed me several blocks to my destination, which was, of course, the Jack in the Box drive-thru. Thank you. I knew this was what you were going to say. But he pulls up next to me in the drive-thru, and he's like, roll down your window, roll down your window. And I was obviously really scared, but I complied. And I just rolled down my window, and I just go, yes? And he's like, you cut me off back there. What the fuck is wrong with you? Learn how to drive, you dumb, ugly cunt. And I was like, I'm not ugly. And that's when I learned that when men get angry, they lie. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm Ashley Lindsay.
Keep it going for Ashley Lindsay, everybody.